I'd like to introduce our head counselor, Mr. Marco Garcia, who's going to share much valuable information with us today. So with that, I'll hand it over to Mr. Garcia.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Good. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm still kind of getting situated here with my technology. I have two cameras here, so I'm sorry if I'm looking in one way, but I'm looking at one screen and the camera's coming from the other. So I'm going to try the best I can here. I didn't add anything to the chat, but you know, if I could be an animal of some sort, I would probably be a shark, because I love the water and nobody really messes with sharks. So I could freely roam the oceans, and nobody would mess with me, or a bigger fish probably wouldn't eat me. I don't know. But that's kind of what I was thinking along those lines. So good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Mr. Marco Garcia. I'm the head counselor here at Sweetwater High School this year. And we want to present some important information to you guys, as Dr. Gavin mentioned. A few of the things that I was asked to kind of present to the parents is college prep, what it means to be prepared to go to college, and how do our students prepare to go to college. It really isn't something that happens as a senior. Preparing to go to college, as many of you already know, is something that happens way in the lower grades, right? As soon as we hit the 9th grade, as soon as we start the 9th grade as freshmen here at Sweetwater, we're really starting to impress the idea and talk about the idea of going to college and preparing yourself throughout those 4 years to be college ready once you reach your senior year, and once you are going to send those college applications out to different colleges. So the thing is, you want to be prepared once you get to your senior year. So I just want to throw that out there one more time. You don't start preparing to go to college your senior year, because it could be that at that point it's too late. So what we do ask, so I got a few, I got some bullets here. So so in your junior year, we really want you guys to start thinking and honing in on what a student would want to do post high school. So what is that career that a student would like to get into, right? So by junior year, you should begin to identify your post-secondary plans. Yes, we are asking many students to think about that beforehand. A lot of students come elementary, middle school, they already know what they want to do. I want to be a police officer. I want to go to the military. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. They already know what they want to do, and that's great. But the truth is, a lot of our students don't. What kind of education will my career require? So if I want to be a lawyer, what do I have to do to become a lawyer? If I want to go into the medical field, what are the things that I have to do? What is that path that I would have to take to go to college? What kind of majors at the university level should I start looking at in order to reach that goal? And then as a junior, we as an 11th grader, maybe even a 10th grader, we really start to encourage students to think about schools, about specific schools. If you want to be an aerospace engineer, we really ask students to look at and to research the schools that would hold a major such as that, because not every school holds every major. So as a junior, we really encourage our students who are college bound, who are university bound, to really start doing that research on their own. We totally encourage research, student research. We as counselors, we are here, and teachers are a big help as well. Because remember, every teacher here on campus has gone to college, has graduated from a university, and they have their own wealth of knowledge that they also share with the students. We are all here to help the student and guide the student, but we really do ask that the student also do their own research, because the student knows themselves the best. So as parents, I really encourage you guys to encourage your students to start asking questions and to start researching. I think we can go on to the next slide. Thank you. So the SAT and the ACT, I was asked to speak a little bit on this. So let's kind of talk about the SAT and the ACT, which are two exams, two tests that most high school students take if they're really looking to go to college or to a university, especially a four-year university. So traditionally, historically, these tests have been used for admissions purposes. So a student takes the test. It's very simple. A student takes the test. They don't get an A, B, C, pass or fail. What it is they get a score. They get a score, and that score, obviously a good score or a medium score, a low score. So the student gets a score, and universities use that score for admissions decisions. So that's how the SAT and the ACT have historically been used. This does bring some stress on students because it is a difficult test. I mean, it is, and all of us who have taken this test know that it is a tough test. A student should study for it. A student should research it, should research the different parts of the test. There's added parts you can take an essay piece to the SAT, but you don't have to because most universities take the SAT without the essay part. So it's a test that historically and traditionally has been used by most universities, four-year universities in this country, when looking to admit students. However, since 2020, universities have kind of stopped using this test, and I think we're transitioning out of the SAT. There'll be other things that come after that, but most universities right now are now transitioning into not requiring the SAT. Whereas before, you had to take the SAT and you had to submit your scores with your application in order to be considered for admissions at most universities, at most four-year universities. So I just wanted to throw that out there in talking about the SAT. We are letting our students know, look at your university, see if the university you are applying to is requiring the SAT. I know in about a year or two, I know the UC system is going to stop accepting the SAT. They have already put that out on their updates that the SAT will no longer be required. So we just wanted to let you guys know what the SAT and the ACT were. Students are still taking them, and fee waivers. So the test does cost about $60-something. It's not cheap. So if your child receives free and reduced lunch, they do qualify for a fee waiver. Can go on to the next. I got to keep track of time because I know I got about 10 to 15 minutes. The PSAT is coming to SUHI. It's coming soon, October 13th. So the PSAT is coming next week. The PSAT is another exam that is usually administered to 10th and 11th graders. There's three things that really, I would say there's three important things that apply to the PSAT. It helps students prepare for the SAT or the ACT if it is that they're going to take it, because it's a test that's very similar. It really does test the students in a lot of the same areas, and it really is a good preparation, and it alleviates a little bit of the anxiety when students are going to take the SAT or the ACT in the future. And it gives you a free personalized test prep. Some of you may have heard of Khan Academy. College Board is connected with Khan Academy. So when you take the PSAT, it's cool because you get a report. The students get a report that tells them exactly where they did well and where they need to improve. So that's how they can guide their study for the SAT or the ACT. The other thing is you learn your academic strengths. Another nice thing about the PSAT is that it gives you a little piece, a little report on matches for possible college level AP courses. So that's another nice thing about the PSAT. It lets you know what your AP potential is. Like you would probably be good to take an AP English course. You would probably be good to take an AP US history or a world history course. So it also lets you know where your strengths are and where the student can possibly push themselves and take an AP course. And then there's scholarships. There's a lot of money tied to the PSAT, so students who do real well will be eligible for certain scholarships as well. Mr. Toms, could you let me know how much time I have? I'm sorry, I kind of lost track of time here, and I want to be conscious of that.
You have time.
Okay. So another big thing about the senior experience and leading up to the senior experience and applying to college and getting ready to go to the university after high school is FAFSA, is money, right? Money, financial aid, being able to pay for college, being able to pay for your university experience, right? So FAFSA is very important. We push this as a district, we push this as a school, because there is a lot of federal money out there for your child. Whether they're going to a four-year university, whether they're going to community college, whether they're going to a vocational school, this is really all encompassing in that the money is there for all of our students after high school in whatever direction they're going to go into, right? So we really do encourage all students to apply for the FAFSA. There's free money. So this is the money that you never have to pay back in Pell Grants, Cal Grants, the federal money, the state money. So there's free money you never have to pay back. Then if you run out of your free money, through the FAFSA, through the government, you can also get a student loan, what we call student loans. This is money you have to pay back, but the good thing about it is that it's at a much lower interest rate to zero interest at times. As the student is in school. And then you can do work study, which is they will connect you at your university and you can work and earn some money and pay off your student debt. So the FAFSA is important. We also have the California Dream Act. That's why you see the CADA, C-A-D-A there, the CADA, that's the California Dream Act. That's also an opportunity for students that may be undocumented and they don't have a social security number. We can still get students to apply and to qualify for free government money through the California Dream Act. So that's very important. Historically and traditionally, a lot of our students and families that maybe have been undocumented and maybe don't have social security numbers at the time have kind of shied away from asking for money, but we're really encouraging everybody, regardless of status, to please fill out the application, the correct application, so that your child will be eligible for that money. I think on the next slide, we have some dates because the FAFSA application is a little complicated. I'm not gonna lie, it's an extensive application. It seems to change every year. So the district has FAFSA workshops. They're all Zoom, just like we're doing now, but students and parents can all log on to these different dates. The one on November 10th is completely in Spanish. And then we have the other ones as well, where you guys can log on. We're going to have a professional that comes in, gives the presentation, and really walks everybody through the application, just in case there's any questions. Students, just to let you guys know, parents of our seniors, students received these dates and they received the link via Jupiter and their email. So just know that all this information that I'm sharing, your child has received. So go ahead and ask them just to make sure. I know they're bombarded with a lot of emails, but just ask them if they received it. Go back in the emails. These dates are there, the links are there. That way you guys can sign up for it. So financial aid, FAFSA, is very important and a big part of being college ready. I think we can go on to the next page. So just kind of wrapping this up, I always throw out our SUHIcounseling.com page. I want you guys to be able to jump on our page here. This is for the counselors, but we have information that encompasses all schools. So please visit our website. You can see the different tabs. We talk about, graduation requirements, scholarships and financial aid is there, community resources, college assessments, careers, everything is here that you guys need. So we always encourage parents and students to please visit our website to get any information that you may need. And I think where it comes, so I know we originally had the counselor updates a little later in the presentation, so I'm just going to tack it on to this. So through counseling right now, I just want to give you guys an update of where we are as a department. So in 2 weeks, on October 19th, 20th, we're going to start our 6-year plan with 9th graders. We call it 6-year plan because we include 7th and 8th grade, but we used to call it the 4-year plan because it really is 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So it's the 4 years of high school. And what we do with our 9th graders is we visit with them, we meet with them, we talk with them, and we basically lay out the 4 years of high school. That way they know where they're going. They know the direction they're moving into in terms of classes. We let them know what their options will be as 10th graders, what their options will be as 11th and 12th graders. That way they have an idea and they can kind of take ownership of the classes and courses that they want to take. So that's always a fun time to meet with our 9th graders, because they're just getting here and they got 4 years ahead of them, and we're able to kind of do this plan with them. It's a very rough plan, and it's a plan that moves semester to semester and year to year. It's not set in stone, and we let them know that, but it's really about having 9th graders start taking ownership and being able to see in the near future, the next 2, 3, 4 years, as to where they're heading in toward graduation. Credit recovery, I want to let you guys know we're currently in the middle of our credit recovery session. So counselors continue to check up on students and making sure that students are attending. That way they can recover credits that they may have failed or received a D in recent years. So credit recovery is important to us, just because we want to make sure the majority of our students all of our students are on track with their credits. Senior check-ins, we continue to work with seniors. So senior check-ins basically goes all year. That's what we do all year. We're checking in with our seniors every step of the way, just because they're up next to graduate, right? So our seniors know they're graduating in June, and that will be here before they know it. So, and before we know it, right? I mean, these years are just flying by. So senior check-ins, we continue to check in with seniors, see how they're doing with their classes. They come in and check in with us, which is awesome. They take initiative and they're asking questions. How are my credits doing? What do I need to graduate? Asking all of those questions. And last but not least, I just wanted to say we continue to be here for all of our students in the areas of academics, college and career, and social emotional. We continue to see a spike in social emotional needs. Students are still struggling a little as we've transitioned back to in-person learning. As you guys know, those 16 months of being at home really did take a toll on some of our students, some of our staff, some of our parents, everybody. So just know that we continue to be a resource here for all of our students. And one last thing that I didn't put there. So I mentioned earlier, PSAT is next Wednesday, right? When our 10th and 11th graders will take the PSAT. For our seniors, the counselors will be hosting workshops that they can log into, because they won't be taking the PSAT. So they'll have that time free to log into workshops that the counselors will be giving on that day that really revolve around post-secondary options. So just know that those went out to students as well. So ask your son or daughter, hey, did you receive the email from the counselors with the links for, I believe we're offering 5 workshops. That way they can jump on those and they can get some information that we're going to be giving on that day. So I think that's it for Counselor Center updates. I believe that was my time. About 15-20 minutes. I'm sorry if I went a little long. Any questions for me, please go ahead and put those in the chat, or you can ask me right now, or feel free to contact us at any point. That's all that I have. Thank you. You guys have a good day. Happy Friday.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. A lot of valuable information. Like Mr. Garcia said, if you have any questions regarding any of the information that was shared with you, please don't be afraid to ask. A lot of times parents or others may feel embarrassed to ask a question because you think you should know. And trust me, I mean, we are more familiar with this information because we work with it every day, and we still have questions. We always have questions. So please make sure you ask your question. All right, with that, we're now going to transition to our next couple of presenters. We have Ms. Garcia and Ms. Johnson, who are with us today, and they're going to talk to us about how to apply for CSF. So ladies, you have the floor. What is CSF?
So hello, I'm Meg Garcia.
I'm Karen Johnson.
And we're the co-advisors for CSF. So excellent question, what is CSF? CSF is the California Scholarship Federation. And it's a group, it's a federation for academic excellence. It is a program that has been in existence for 100 years. And actually one of the assistant principals 100 years ago at Sweetwater High School helped to found CSF. So we've got a long history. We're one of the very first chapters in the state of California. And what CSF is, a lot of people know it as you graduate in white. So that's what parents always like to know. How does my student graduate in white? There you go. And we did exactly that. And so the way that you graduate in white is by becoming a member of CSF.
Yeah,
Okay.
in order to become a member, and I think this would probably be the next slide over, or the next, there we go, is that you need to have 4 qualifying semesters, and that starts in your sophomore year. So sophomore year, you have 2, your junior year, you have 2, and then senior year, you have 2. So you have to have 4 out of those 6 to graduate in white. How do you get qualified? Is that you have to earn 10 points. An A is worth 10 points on your semester grade. An A is worth 3 points, a B is worth 1 point, a C is 0, but it doesn't disqualify you. If you get a D or F in citizenship or scholarship, it disqualifies you. Okay, so there are some students that have straight A's in scholarship and they'll have a D or F in citizenship and they're disqualified. So just make sure that your child doesn't have a D or F and we should be okay.
Yeah. So one of the big things with qualifying for CSF is that you have to apply. A lot of students think, oh, I can just show up at the end of my senior year, show you my transcript, and I'll qualify. But that's not how the process works. The rules are very strict and we do not make them. They come from the California State Board and we have to follow them or else they could take away our charter. So the requirement is that after every single semester is that you have to apply. There's a 2-week window in which you have to apply. We have Google Classrooms. And so we post on there, we let them know applications will be out on this day. There's one this day. Everything is done online and virtual, so it can get done very easily. And so they have to apply after each semester. So when we get our December grades this year, then at the end of January, we have at the end of January is when the application will come out. When we have our June grades, they apply when we come back in August.
And the application comes out on the Google Classroom. So if you see right there, there are some class codes. So that is where we have the application. That's where they will submit the application. That's one thing that was great that came out of the pandemic is that everything went online. And so it's easy access for the kids. All the information is on there. Our officers have gone through and made videos on how to apply and how to submit. So everything that they need is on the Google Classroom. So as long as they join, they'll get everything that they need.
So the other thing, we always have a lot of 9th graders who come and they come to our classrooms and want to know about CSF. And CSF begins in 10th grade. So 10th graders and forward will be able to apply. So we always get that. So like our sophomores right now have not applied yet because they get their first set of grades that can qualify them in December.
Which we do have I was just about to say that. We do have the class code and I will update the slide.
I'll see if I can pull it up right now.
Are parents gonna have access to these slides? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay,
We do, correct. We do have the recording and then we also post the slides for our parents.
Okay, so what we will do is I will update these slides today and I will send the updated slides to you all so you guys can have the updated slides for this, okay? But yes, we do have a class code right now for sophomores. It's just the earliest that they can apply will be in January using this December's grades, okay?
Got it. I've got the class code. I'll put it in the chat right now, if I can see it. Okay. So, so I think that's the basics of CSF. So, so any questions that you have, please, and you guys are doing that, but we are here. Please ask any questions. So that's the class code for the class of 24.
And I think that's it. If you go to the next slide, I believe it was just kind of a
question slide.
question slide.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So one of the things that we talk about is that students will pay $8 in dues. For a total, they pay it 4 times for a total of $32. And what that pays for is when you graduate in white, you get a gold tassel, you get gold cords, you get a CSF pin, you get a folder and a certificate, and you get special seals on your diploma. The $32 pays for all of that. So we kind of have you make down payments on it as you're moving through. Oh, and Ms. Johnson has an example of our gold cords. There you go.
These are the gold cords.
So they go like this when they graduate. Very lovely. So that's what the dues are, and we collect that a little bit at a time when we go. I'm just gonna keep wearing them. So yeah, but that's the dues. So we collect that as we go. We keep track of it, and we update with the kids, usually twice a year. Let them know.
And I love the kids because senior year is so expensive just on its own with everything else that they're having to pay for, that this is one less thing they have to worry about because they've been paying all along. So and it just helps them.
It originally started this process about 25 or 30 years ago. Ms. Charles was our longtime CSF advisor, and there were kids who were not graduating in white. They qualified, but they weren't doing it because they didn't have the $32. So that's why we started paying it little by little, so that we made sure everyone got the recognition that they earned and that they deserved. All right, I think
that is it.
Yes. There we go.
All right. Yes, so if there are any questions, you can put them in the chat or you can unmute and ask. También pueden hacer sus preguntas en español y podemos traducir. If anyone has a question in Spanish, we can certainly translate. Okay. If there are no questions, thank you so much, Ms. Johnson, Ms. Garcia. We appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And yes, we want many more students to continue to graduate in white. We know that they are out there. We know they're getting those very good grades. So we want them to be recognized at graduation. Okay, so now we will go to Ms. Martinez for our Parent Center update.
Hi, good morning. So our district will be offering 3 parent conferences this semester. The first one is Parent University. They will give 8 sessions. The first one will be next Thursday, October 12th through December 7th. They are from 1 to 2 p.m. These conferences focus on college and career. So you will need to register for each of the sessions. And I will post right now the link for all the sessions on the chat. Oh, it's not working. Let me see what is done. Okay, there you go. So if you check the chat, there are I put all the links, the 8 links for the sessions, so you can copy them and just start registering. Also, we have the Feria conference. This will be November 13th, and it is from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And they focus on special education. The third one is Mini Cave, and will be Saturday, November 6th, at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. For those two, the Feria and Mini Cave, you need to contact me and I can help to the process of the registration process. So Eric, can you move? Okay, this is the Feria one that I was already mentioned. And the other one is Mini Cave. Eric, thank you. So you can take like a screenshot and have all this information, but don't forget that you need to contact me for Feria and Mini Cave. And in the next slide, you have my contact information. So please take a screenshot and just contact me. Thank you.
Albita, yo tengo una pregunta.
¿Sí?
Del link que nos enviaste, ¿tengo que registrarme en cada link uno por uno?
Ajá. So son 8 sesiones. Son 8 sesiones para Parent University.
Sí.
Y cada sesión te tienes que registrar. And one thing that I forgot to mention is please don't share your link because after you register, you register or sign up for the workshop. Each workshop you will receive a unique access link to access. So don't share the link because it's only for you.
Okay. En donde dice school site, ¿qué le pongo? ¿SUHI?
Sí.
Okay. Gracias.
De nada. So es todo. That's all from me, and thank you and have a nice and wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Muchas gracias. So again, a lot of great workshops for our parents now. I know we don't have all of our parents here, but some of you may know another parent from our school. So please invite them. Bring a friend, bring 2 friends. We want to make sure that Sweetwater High School is always represented at these workshops because I know they ask, what school are you from? So I always like it when our parents say, oh, I'm from Sweetwater High School. So that just makes it look like we are all here in it together. We're learning, we're growing. So again, it's not just available for those who are present here today. If you know another parent from Sweetwater, but they happen to not be here at this meeting, please reach out to them and bring them to some of these workshops. I think it would be a wonderful learning experience for everybody. So with that, I want to again thank all of our presenters. And at this point, we can answer any general questions that you may have for me, or maybe anybody else who's, any of our staff members who are still here in the meeting. But are there any questions? You can post them in the chat, or what's easier is if you can unmute and ask your question, that would be great. Si tienen preguntas, las pueden hacer en este momento.
Sí, buenos días.
Buenos días.
Sí, mire, mi pregunta es, los niños en el recess ahorita no están jugando ningún deporte, ¿verdad? No los dejan que jueguen.
¿Durante el descanso?
Ajá.
Sí, ajá.
Sí, lo que pasa es que ya estaba platicando, ¿verdad? Sobre esto con algunas personas y que ya ve que han pasado incidentes en la escuela de que los niños, ¿verdad? Que se aventaron con botellas de agua, han pasado cosas en la escuela y es que pues ellos ahora sí que tienen demasiada energía, necesitan hacer algo en el receso y
sí,
quería ver pues cuándo van a dejar que jueguen básquet, que jueguen algo. Porque están ahí nomás inventando a ver qué hacen.
Okay, so gracias. The question is, is it possible for students to be able to play sports or play games during nutrition break and lunch? Because in the past, we've had some incidents during lunch where they throw water bottles or food. And so sometimes students need some distraction, something to release some of their energy. And we agree 100%. We have been working on this in that in order to be able to identify areas on campus where they can play sports or games, because they can't play with a ball, because it's happened where they'll play with a ball, but it's not in a designated area. So then someone can get hurt. And I've seen it happen. They'll throw a football and then it's in a big crowded area and someone might get hurt, not intentionally. They don't throw it at a person. It's just that, you know, they missed and they might hit someone. That's not part of the game. So we are identifying areas on campus where students may be able to play, but we also need to have more supervisors. And so we're trying to recruit supervisors because our staff, that is the time when they eat their lunch. So we can't make staff not eat their lunch and be outside to supervise. We can pay them to give up their lunch and help supervise, but sometimes it's just, even with pay, a lot of staff like to sit down and take their break too and eat their lunch. So it's all about identifying supervisors that can help supervise our students when they're out there playing. But yes, we agreed. Also, we talked about this before we went on fall break, that we need to identify areas on campus where students can play sports, can play games in a safe way and be supervised, because that's the other component. We can't just tell students, go ahead and go on the field by yourselves. We have to have an adult that's watching, making sure that everyone is safe and okay. But we are working on doing that. We agree 100%.
Oh, so el problema es que no tienen supervisores. Ese es el problema para estar.
Sí, primero tenemos que identificar supervisores que están disponibles, estar allá afuera. Ajá. Pero estamos haciendo eso, a ver quién puede ser voluntario o supervisar. Bueno, les pagamos, pero también muchos, aunque les paguen, ellos también quieren su descanso, su break. Very, very good.
Oh, okay, gracias.
Any other questions? Oh, sí, muchas gracias, señora.
Oh, de las voluntarios, ¿cuándo van a dejar que seamos voluntarios? Última pregunta, sorry.
Está bien. So the question is, when are parents going to be able to volunteer again on campus? I don't know the answer. I don't have a date because it depends on COVID cases and making sure that we don't have any more outbreaks. Right now in our city, the cases are going down, which is a good thing. What we hope is that they continue to go down. What happened last year, it was around November, December that they started to go up. And it was because we had, Thanksgiving break, we had winter break, a lot of family gatherings, a lot of social gatherings. And so we were having more and more cases throughout the city. Now at the time, students were not on campus, but now more so that they're on campus, we have to be careful and make sure that anyone we bring onto campus, volunteers, it's when cases have gone down and they continue to go down. And that's something that it's not just decided here at the school, but it's something that's decided by the district. So it's not like one school is going to have volunteers and another school is not. It's a district-wide decision. So it's something that's come up where we ask the question and the district will decide once more cases go down and it seems like things are getting better. But because you get the notices, we continue to have cases on campus, students who are COVID positive. And if your son or daughter is a close contact, we would inform you right away. Otherwise, you get the general letter letting you know that there was a case on campus. But if you were not directly contacted, that means that your son or daughter was not a close contact. But as you continue to see those letters, it's because we continue to have those cases. And that makes it more difficult for us to bring our parent volunteers on the campus. It's not just for our students' protection, but it's for your protection too. We want to make sure we don't put any of you in harm's way. But I would love to have you here. We need our volunteers back. I miss all of you. I miss our healthy talks when we walk around the campus and talk. We might be able to do something like that. I'm looking into that because it's outside and it's me, an adult, and we're outside the campus. So I'm trying to see if we could bring that back at least. But as far as having our parents on campus, we still haven't been given the okay to do that. But I can't wait for you to come back. As soon as they tell us you can, trust me, Alma and I will be reaching out to you immediately to get you back onto campus.
Sí, porque como dice usted, necesitan supervisores. Por ejemplo, podríamos estar afuera a la hora del recess, supervisando a los niños cuando están jugando algún de sports.
Bueno, cuando digo, when I say outside, I mean outside the campus. Even if you're outside a building, but inside the campus, we haven't been given the okay to invite parents or volunteers back onto campus, even if we're outside. So that's something we're still looking into. But as soon as they say it's okay, then yes, we agree. You all helped us so much. So the more parents we can bring back to help supervise during the break or lunch, then we can have more activities for our students. Yes. So I'm still looking into that.
Okay, thank you. Gracias.
Gracias, señora.
Yo tengo una pregunta, perdón.
Ajá.
Mi niña me comentó que el sábado 16 de 7 a 11 va a haber un evento para los 12 grados. Yo la verdad le pregunté a ella que qué tan importante es asistir o qué tan seguro es de que vayan a esa hora, si va a haber supervisión o si van a estar ustedes ahí, porque es el sábado 16. La verdad, yo no tengo mucha información de eso. No sé si usted está enterada de eso o me podría dar un poquito más de información.
Okay, so the question is regarding someone's daughter said that there's going to be an event for students, specifically seniors, but I think the only event I know for Saturday the 16th on campus, it's in the evening, and it's going to be it's kind of in place of a homecoming dance. So traditionally, our homecoming game is next Friday, the 15th. Usually we have a homecoming dance the next day, but because we can't have a dance indoors, we can't have students inside, especially with large groups. I mean, unless they're in a classroom with just 30 students, but if it's a big venue where it's something like a dance, we can't have them inside. So we're having what we're calling Homecoming Fest, and that's next Saturday, the 16th in the evening. I believe it starts at around 5 or 6 p.m. And the question is, how secure, what precautions are we taking to make sure that students are safe? So first of all, in order for students to participate, they do need to submit a negative COVID test for that week. So Ms. Morris, Deborah Morris, she's our ASB Dean, and she's the one that puts out the information. And I'll check in with her again after this meeting regarding putting out the information again to our families. So you should be getting another email about it. And it's basically activities that we're going to have for students outside. It's all going to be outside. We're not going to be inside. So it's on our campus. They do need to, when they buy their ticket, because we are selling tickets, I believe they're $25, and it includes food, ice cream, games, pictures. So they can be here on campus, but outside. And we have different activities, and they do need to submit a negative COVID test that week in order to be able to come in. So again, it's making sure that everyone is safe. And we are going to have supervisors. I'm going to be here. We have other staff that are going to be here to help supervise, to make sure that students are, being distanced, that they're wearing their masks, that, we're taking precautions. So again, it's not an obligation. Students don't need to attend, but it's something I think they may like to attend.
Ok, muchísimas gracias.
Gracias a usted, señora. Aquí me voy a escribir una nota que la señora Morris mande más información a nuestras familias.
Gracias, muy amable.
Any other questions? Miss, I see Sorina had her hand up.
Ya la bajé, fui yo la que hizo la pregunta.
Ok, gracias, señora.
Gracias.
Any other questions? Very good questions everyone is asking.
Dr. Gavin?
Yes.
I just wanted to remind the parents if they can please sign in the links that I just posted. We are still missing a couple of parents that haven't been able to sign in. So just a friendly reminder, if parents, if you can click on the links that I put on the chat box so we can take your attendance. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, if everyone can please take a minute to do that. It doesn't take very long. We want to make sure because we have to document. This isn't something we just want to do. We do have to document who attends the meetings to show that, you know, these are things that we want to continue doing. So we have to have a list of attendance of parents that attended the meeting. And I see there's a question in the chat regarding wanting to vaccinate your children. So what we'll do is, I don't have that information right here with me as far as where you can take your children to get vaccinated if you want to get them vaccinated, but we'll send that information out to our families. And if you want to talk to someone directly, you can always call the school and we'll connect you to our school nurse, and she has a list of places where you can take your children to get vaccinated. So I'm writing myself a note to send that information to our families.
Buenos días, yo tengo una pregunta.
Sí.
Sobre los niños que se van a graduar, que están en el 12, les van a pedir las horas comunitarias que usualmente se piden cuando se registran en las universidades o al colegio.
Sí, muy buena pregunta. Very good question. The question is, for those that are seniors and graduating this year, are we still having them have to accrue at least 30 or more hours for community service? And the answer is no. And Mr. Garcia, correct me if I'm wrong, but the answer is no. Students do not, because of COVID and because obviously throughout our community, we're very limited on any community service that students or any of us can do throughout the community. That is not a requirement right now. So no community service hours need to be turned in.
Yeah, if I can add, that's a very good question. So we're going on the third year of not requiring community service, like Dr. Gavin mentioned, because of what's happened in recent past. So we're taking it 1 year at a time. So if there's any parents out there with underclassmen, I think this is a more important piece. We still don't know if underclassmen are gonna also be extended the waiver of the community service hours. So just know that for next year, we may start to require community service hours, but it may be at a prorated less hours. It won't be the 30. So as of this year, Dr. Gavin is correct. There is no community service requirement.
Right, and I know this specific question was also, I think I overheard a tag-on question, will the universities not be requiring it? And the answer is no, they're not gonna, the universities will not be requiring it since we're not making it a requirement at the high school level.
That is correct. However, and in addition to that is if a student would like to go out and do community service hours on their own, the school is not requiring it because of everything that's happening in the liability. We're not sending kids out. However, there is students who are doing it because they would like their applications to look a little better. They're able to do that, but no, the universities are not requiring it as well.
Okay, muchas gracias.
A usted, señora. Muy buenas preguntas. Everyone's asking really good questions. Any other questions before? I know we're getting close to the time we usually end. And like I've said before, if you have a question between now and our next coffee with the principal, which is going to be on November 5th, don't wait until November 5th. Please call us, email us. We're here to serve you. You see me outside in front of the school before and after school, so you know where to find me. But please keep asking your questions. You all have very good questions. And I want to make sure, and if you have that question, that means many other people have the same question. Don't think you're the only one. I always figure with one person asking the question, that means I'm answering everyone else's question actually. And again, if you haven't signed in, we're going to ask one more time, please sign in before you leave today. But again, I want to make sure you all know how much I am so grateful for your participation in our meetings. And I am going to keep asking my boss at the district to see, you know, if there's any possibility that we can bring some of our parent volunteers back, even if they're outside. It might still be a no right now because of COVID, but if they say it's okay, ooh, someone needs to mute. If someone can please mute, sorry. I will let you know as soon as you're able to be back on the campus.
Doctora, una pregunta.
Ajá.
Si mi hijo está en el 9º grado, me estaban diciendo que les van a pedir 30 horas de voluntarios que hagan de community service. Mi pregunta es, ¿dónde puede hacer él el voluntariado? Porque ya ve que ahorita con la ustedes están aprobando para que ellos puedan ser voluntarios. ¿En dónde?
Sí, acabamos de decir que ese no es un requisito ahorita. Las 30 horas para los que se van a graduar este año no es requisito. Ahora, como dijo el señor García, el consejero, que cada año el distrito y el condado están dándolos sugerencias sobre si va a ser un requisito o no, pero por el momento para los que se van a graduar este año, en el 2022, no tienen que entregar ninguna hora.
Pero mi hijo está en el 9º grado, decían que tenían que empezar a hacer ya sus horas de voluntarios.
Bueno, ahorita.
Mi pregunta es que si la pueden.
Sí, ahorita no. Ahorita estamos pidiendo que, porque como están las condiciones en nuestro condado, que no tienen que empezar estas horas. Ahora, el próximo año, cuando ya estén en el 10 y las cosas estén mejor tal vez, entonces tal vez no sean 30 horas que tengan que entregar para cuando se gradúen, tal vez vayan a decir, van a ser como 20 horas. Entonces, esa información se va a dar, pero por el momento estamos pidiendo que estudiantes no salgan a propósito a agarrar estas horas porque ahorita no es la recomendación.
Ok, entonces no me tengo que preocupar por eso ahorita, no de las horas de voluntarios.
No, porque aunque su hijo esté en el 9, tal vez no sea que tenga que tener 30 horas cuando se gradúe. Como van a ver que en el 9º no pudieron hacer esas horas, entonces van a dividir esas 30 horas por 4 años, donde saliendo como a 7 y medio, van a ser como 21 o 22 horas, tal vez que digan, si ya en el 10 pueden empezar a hacer horas, entonces para el 12 van a tener que tener 22 horas de servicio a la comunidad, pero van a ajustar esas horas por cada año que no pudieron hacer ese servicio.
Ok, perfecto, porque habían dicho que fuéramos a agarrar la aplicación y que alguien nos iba a probar para ver dónde podían hacer las horas, ¿verdad? Del servicio.
Sí,
no, ahorita perfecto. No. Muchas gracias, doctora, muy amable.
Ay, está sonando la campana. So just to make sure everyone understands and knows that, again, community service hours are not a requirement right now. Now for seniors. Now for those that are in 9th, 10th, or 11th grade, it's still not required right now for them to go out and accrue community service hours. Now, let's say next year, if hopefully things are better, then we may get direction on how many hours that graduating class will need. So for those that are going to be seniors next year, they may say, you need to complete 7 hours of community service to graduate. We're not sure right now. Right now, they're adjusting or communicating with us every year. So, but in the meantime, for those that have underclassmen, for those of you who have 9th, 10th, or 11th graders, we don't want you to worry about your student accruing hours right now so that they don't fall behind. Those hours will be adjusted and they will be given the opportunity to complete once it's safe. Right now, it's being determined they should not be out getting these hours because it may not be safe. And so again, please don't think that this is a requirement from us or for universities at this time. You'll get more information year to year, and that adjustment will be made so it's fair for your students. None of your students will have to complete 30 hours. I can tell you that right now. All right. Any other final questions before we finish? And again, one last time for you to click on the link if you haven't already, so we can take your attendance. And I want to, once again, to finish off, thank you all so much for attending. I really appreciate your support. I am going to, like I said, try and see how soon we can get our parent volunteers back on campus, because we miss you. It's just not the same without you. And we want to make sure you can come back and help support your children here on campus. So with that, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you at the next Coffee with the Principal, which is on Friday, November 5th. And have a wonderful day. Thank you.